KAKUM National Park, one of Ghana's most beautiful and biodiverse national parks. KAKUM National Park is located in the central region of Ghana and covers an area of about 375 square kilometers. The park was established in 1992 to protect the country's endangered species and promote ecotourism.
KAKUM National Park was created in 1992 and was officially opening for public use in 1994. The reason for the creation of KAKUM National Park came from the fact that at a certain point in time, the state realized that Central Region needs something to boost the tourism facility that they have within the region. And you could find the castle was there, so what else can they add to it? And then the creation of this KAKUM came into being, and with the installation of this canopy walkway, which is exception in this West Africa, just to boost the economic activity within the Central Region and Ghana as a whole.
KAKUM National Park is home to a wide variety of plant and animal species. The park's lush rainforest is teeming with wildlife, including over 500 species of butterflies, 250 species of birds, and numerous mammals such as forest elephants, leopards, and monkeys.
We also have a key species like the elephants within the reserve. We also have a nice vegetation where you can also, and there are a lot of bird species. People who are lovers of birds has a nice place to visit, and that is KAKUM National Park. We have a natural trees that you can also use, and that will also give you a very nice serene environment within the KAKUM National Park. We have a large outcrop within the KAKUM National Park, about 100 square meters within the park, an outcrop that people can do camping and then overnight stay within that area. We also had a nice camping site within the KAKUM National Park, which is one of the most attractive areas for especially the young ones to have a feel of a natural forest.
Let's take a brief tour of the KAKUM National Park Museum.
Hello everyone, you are welcome to KAKUM National Park. My name is Ophelia and I'm a tour guide. Behind me we have our exhibition hall, which has a brief history about the park and also the flora and fauna of the park. Alright, so we are now inside the exhibition hall of the KAKUM National Park. Here is a brief history about the park. In the early 20s, KAKUM National Park used to be just a forest where people or indigenous communities interacted with the forest differently. But in the early 30s, it became a forest reserve, which was managed by the Forestry Division to control logging or the amount of trees that can be cut from the forest. But in the late 80s, it changed hand from the Forestry Division to the Wildlife Department, where everything that's the logging of trees and also hunting of animals were seized. Okay, so in 1992, it became a conservation area. KAKUM is 360 square kilometers, that's about 36,000 hectares, and it comprises of the KAKUM National Park and the Asina Tandanso Resource Reserve. Here we have a brief history about all the protected areas in Ghana, and currently 12,476 square kilometers protected areas are under the management of the Wildlife Division of Ghana. And this area comprises of the Bui, the Bia, Dija, and Ankasa Forest Reserve, and the rest. We also have an NGO called the Ghana Heritage Conservation Trust, which takes care of the facilities or manages the facilities inside the forest reserve or around the forest reserve. And in KAKUM National Park, we currently have 52 surrounding communities, and they interact with the forest differently. We have farmers, we have wood carvers, we have hunters surrounding the community, and they have different ways of interacting with the forest. These are pictures of how the communities interact with the forest. So when the exhibition was about to be built, some of these community members donated some of the stuff or the artifacts that they used to interact with the forest with. And here we have images of camera trap pictures of the animals inside the forest. This is the map of KAKUM, and these are all the communities surrounding KAKUM. And with the community surrounding KAKUM, we also have 8 camps, and we have our law enforcement officers or law enforcement units surrounding KAKUM, in which they patrol inside the forest to make sure nobody is hunting or cutting down trees in the forest. In order to interact with the community surrounding KAKUM, we have to interact with the paramountcies or the traditional heads. And these are the 6 traditional heads surrounding KAKUM. We have the Abura paramountcies, we have the Apimenim paramountcy, we have the Dentra paramountcy, we also have Efutuakwa, Atendasu, and Chufuman paramountcies. We also have artifacts and also pictures of farmers surrounding KAKUM. We also have more artifacts of farmers. We have soso, we also have weeding cutlasses, and also a woven basket. And we come to the hunting sector of the artifacts we have in here. So here we have a carbide lamp, and before we had the flashlights, this is how people used to go into the forest. They put the carbide lamp on their forehead, and it aids them to see whatever they want to hunt or kill in the forest. Then here we also have some guns and gunpowder pictures, pellets, and also tosa. So tosa is gotten from palm nut tree. This is the chaff we get after we make palm nut, and most hunters use that to hunt rodents or kill rodents. And here we also have some hunting tools that have been banned. So here we have the gin trap and also a wire snare, and this is how the gin trap is set, and this is how it captures animals. These are some of the pictures of the birds we have. Then here we also have some species of the primates and some other animals. We also have some reptiles inside KAKUM National Park, and we have different species of snakes. We have the mambas, we also have the cobras, and we have the pythons. But the star of KAKUM National Park is the forest elephant, which is one of the main reasons why the forest was put under the conservation law. And here we have the skull or bones remains of a baby forest elephant. This one is between the ages of 8 to 10 thereabouts. We have 2 types of elephants in Ghana. We have the savanna elephants and the forest elephants. And the savanna elephants are way bigger than the ones in the forest regions. And here we also have the African rock python. These ones are non-venomous. They wrap themselves around you, break your bones to the size they can swallow, and they swallow you whole. We also have skins of different animal species inside the forest. We have the skin of a bushback, which is mostly used for the Abuache festival, if you've heard of that before. We also have the skin of a genet cat and also the skin of the African civet. Here we also have different pictures of the cat species and also the antelope species. On our right side, we also have the butterfly species. So KAKUM has a record of 600 species of butterflies. One species was first discovered inside KAKUM, and they named it Diopetes kakumi after KAKUM. We also have the skull of different animals from KAKUM. We have the skull of a duiker, we have the skull of a bongo antelope, and the skulls of a red river hog, which is part of the pig family, and in Twi they call them kokoti. Apart from the flora and fauna content of the park, most of the tree species we have in here has medicinal properties. So inside KAKUM, way before it became a conservation area, we say our people used to they used to take medicine from the forest, okay? They used to have their pharmacy in there. Inside KAKUM, we also have crocodiles. We have 4 main river bodies that take their head from KAKUM, and it supplies the neighboring communities with source of water. And around some of these water bodies, we have the slender snorted crocodile and the African dwarf crocodiles. And we also have some tortoises, have some pangolins, which is on the IUCN red list. So with the pangolin, if anybody is found with any part of the animal, you can't be jailed as well. Then these are also different ways the community used to interact with the forest or even live in their communities. Here we have the general ecological system. We show people that we have 2 types of ecosystems. We have the terrestrial ecosystem, then the aquatic ecosystem. And in the terrestrial ecosystem, we have the forest ecosystem, of which KAKUM is part, the desert ecosystem. We also have the grassland, of which we can put shire hills and mostly the northern part under. Then we also have the mangroves and the coral reefs. So we have a fish trap over here, which was mostly set in our river bodies to trap fishes and also crabs. And here we have a picture of our services to the communities. So since we've taken the forest from them, let me put it that way, because they used to interact with the forest, then later they were asked to stop. We have to give it back to the community so that they don't feel that they've been left out. So there have been canteens, community centers, and even pipe-borne waters that have been built for the communities around. This side of the exhibition shows all the importance of our forest reserves, or even the presence of trees in our communities. It shows how some of the trees that can be found inside the forest, where they originate from, and some of the uses of these plants. If we move to Ghana, we have the 8, 3, 2, 5, and 10. And the 8 is a barwood, 2 is palm nut, 10 is emerald, that's a timber tree, and also we have 3, which is kusia, which all originates from Ghana. If we come here, we also see different plant species we have around our communities and the importance in traditional medicine. So we have the tree. If you flip it, we have the uses beneath it. So let's use the ones we have in Ghana. Kusia is part of those trees. So when you flip it, it says here that kusia can be used to treat malaria, stomach ache, indigestion, anemia, jaundice, measles, and the rest. So this and many more is what you get when you come to KAKUM National Park. We show you some of these species, the importance it has on our community and to individuals as a whole. And we entreat you to plant trees around your area, which you will benefit from one way or the other. And from here, you move to the canopy walkway where you enjoy the tour.
It's about the threat of a park, then it's about communities surrounding the park. As I speak now, we have about 51 fringing communities. And as you know, when population is increasing, people are interested in expanding their farmland size. So if there's any threat that we are facing, there may to be people's attempt to encroach upon the land to expand their farming activities. Aside that, the other threat that we face as a park is also the visitors. You know, some of the visitors felt that when they come, they need to be treated earlier. And because of that, some of them also think that they go off board and do all kinds of things. And managing waste of a normal average Ghanaian, wherever they want to throw dustbin, and so the polythene is also becoming a threat to the park, and that is one of the areas. In spite of the numerous bins provided with signage, do not litter around, you will still find a Ghanaian throwing rubber within the ecological area, which is also not accepted. Poaching is one of the major threats that we also face within the park. You could see that people around the reserve also do encourage people to come in to poach the key species within the park. And sometimes you might hear people also interested in killing elephants, which is a huge animal. And that is also one of the threats that we face from the communities around the park. Dealing with these threats, particularly with poaching, we have about almost about 40 staff on the field who patrols around the resource day in and day out. And so we map up strategies so that we'll be able to ward off. We will not wait for people to go in and kill before we rush in. No, we normally have to go around the park protecting the resource. Aside that, we also do what we call the conservation education. We engage the people so that they will understand the concept of conservation, its relevance, even to their livelihood. So we also have a unit that deals with conservation education, and that's also helping us to deal with the threat around as we work around, so that at least there are volunteers around who, when they hear anybody with the intention of killing elephants, they quickly report to us, and then we also intensify our patrols within that core area that we identify.
One of the highlights of KAKUM National Park is its famous canopy walkway. This series of 7 rope bridges suspended high above the forest floor offers visitors a unique opportunity to experience the rainforest from a bird's eye view.
So this is our first resting spot. Yes. So our first resting spot has so many things we would like to enjoy. The first one is, this is the coconut. So maybe after the tour or before the tour, you can buy one for yourself. This is honey from here, original. And this is the Theobroma cacao, cocoa. Ghana and Ivory Coast are the leading producers of this. And this is where we get the chocolate from. And that's the cocoa tree. That's the cocoa tree over there. So this is where we get this from. Then almighty palm wine from the oil palm tree. This is the palm wine. So if you're a bit scared of heights, you can't do the walkway, maybe you sip small palm wine and you forget about the height. Then you'll be able to walk across all the 7 bridges. Yes. Before you go on the walkway, you need to hike. And the first part of the hike is climbing a very steep hill, which is like 250 meters above sea level. We have divided that walk into 3. We have the first lap, where we have the first resting point. Then we have the second lap. So this is the second lap. So here it's meant for visitors to catch their breath or to rest, because it is hilly. Sometimes they find it very difficult. So you rest here, minimum 2 minutes. Then you continue with the last lap over there. And after that, you get to the end of the regenerated forest before we enter the national park. So this is our boundary line. This way to the Cape Coast Chufupraso Highway, that way to the other forest reserve. KAKUM is a conservation area made up of 2 forest reserves. We have the KAKUM National Park and we have the Asena Tendenso Resource Reserve. KAKUM became a forest reserve in 1931, whilst the adjacent Asena Tendenso Resource also became a reserve in 1935. So between 1931 and 1991, here was producing a lot of timber. Everything was happening here. Hunting, poaching, logging, it was all happening here. So in 1991, all ceased, and the KAKUM site was gazetted using the LI 1525 to become a national park. So the KAKUM site is a national park, whilst the adjacent Asena Tendensu is also a resource reserve. You put the two together, we are talking about 36,000 hectares of forest, or 360 square kilometers, or let me be practical, 89,000 football pitches. That's the size of KAKUM. It was even bigger than this, but the chunk has been taken away for farming activities and also for settlements. We have 52 communities living around the park, and they own the park. And we have 6 paramonses. Yes. So I'm here to show you one of the popular trees we have in the forest, and one of the hard trees also we have in the forest. We call it the ebony tree, a very popular tree, but it has so many aliases. As you can see, we have the Osono Afe or Kusibiri. So Osono Afe simply means elephant comb. The first syllable, Osono, means elephant, and Afe in my language simply means comb, the one we used to comb our hair. So Osono Afe, elephant comb. Why? Because elephants rub their skin on this tree. It's very hard and it is very rough. No buttress, so taproot deep in the soil. So in the olden days, before they will cut or log this tree, they dig so that they will get the full length of this tree. Research shows that from here to the top is the same as from the base to the bottom. KAKUM is not only about the walkway or about plant species. We also have a lot of rivers taking their source from here. We have 13 rivers taking their source from here. The bigger one is the KAKUM River. So the forest got its name from that river. And that river supplies water to Cape Coast and its environs. So you know why this area was conserved or preserved up to date. Because of the rivers over here. They didn't want the rivers to go, so they decided to keep this area for the next generation. After ebony, we have Isa here. Isa is Celtis mebredai. Isa, in my language, simply means it doesn't quench. Isa. And we Ghanaians, we love our fufu so much. So we use Isa tree as the pestle we use to pound our fufu. And the base, that's the mortar, is from the danta tree. And Isa has so many beautiful buttresses. Yes, beautiful buttresses. The main function of the buttress is for stability on the ground. And Isa was also part of the 8 trees they used to hang the roofs around when constructing the walkway. So we have Isa, then we have ebony, then we have other trees. So later I'll show you all of them on the famous walkway. So before we get up to go and see the famous walkway, I have 2 trees here I want to show you. The first one is this one. This tree is known as danta. It was also part of the trees they hung the ropes around. And danta, as I said, for the Isa, danta is the one we use for the mortar, the one we pound our fufu in. Before civilization, our ancestors were using this danta tree as a chewing stick to clean the teeth. Yes. Then, the last tree over here is the umbrella tree. Look at the leaves up. Yes, it was named because of its leaves. The leaves are looking like umbrella. Look at the base, it is sitting on stilts. If you cut any of the roots, you are going to get a bucket full of water coming out. Then that water is medicinal, especially for ladies who are battling infertility. That water is very good for them. You know, our ancestors were depending on this forest for everything. All the plant species that you see over here has medicinal values. So they were using them. So this is our biggest product we sell to tourists over here. It is called the famous canopy walkway. It was built on the canopy layer of the rainforest. If you cut through KAKUM, you are going to see 4 layers. You have the floor, you have the understory, you have the canopy layer, then you have the emergent layer. And the emergent layer is for the tall trees. They appear there. The walkway has been around since 1995. It was built by 2 Canadians and 6 Ghanaians. Tom and John from Vancouver and 6 Ghanaians. They started building it on 11th September 1994. So by 5th March 1995, the walkway was completed. So former President of Ghana, J.J. Rawlings, came over here to officially open the walkway to the general public on 22nd April 1995. Since that, we are yet to record any accident on it, no casualty. So 28 years, always looking like this. This is the first bridge. We have 8 bridges in total, but we have 2 ways to exit. We have a longer way and we have a shorter way. So this is the first one. All of us are going to walk across. So after here, we have the right side and we have the left side. The right side is for 6 more bridges. The left side is for only a bridge. So you do 2 on your left side, you do 7 on your right side. This is our first platform. After each bridge, there's a platform for people to rest before they take on the next bridge. So this is our first platform. We are going the long way. So we are going this side for the long way, where we are going to experience the highest point. On the platform 2, you see what I'm using now? Yes, we have so many activities. One of them is the bird watching. So bird watchers also come over here to look at birds on this platform. KAKUM is home to 266 species of birds and 466 species of butterflies. So we have bird watching and we have butterfly view. Aside the famous canopy walkway, the hiking and the tree house. 2 more bridges already gone. We have 5 more bridges in front of us. This is the second platform. As you can see, it's very new, just a week old. Yes, it tells you how we don't play with maintenance over here. As you walk around, you also see some new ropes, new net, new wooden board. Maintenance team are always on standby to fix any broken parts. So this is the Danta tree. So we have 2 Dantes, then we have 2 Chen-Chens. And this Danta tree and the tree over there, that's the Chen-Chen tree, lies the longest bridge and the highest point. So from here, this Danta to that Chen-Chen tree is 60 meters long, and that's the longest bridge. Average length of a bridge is 32 meters, and this is the longest one, and this is the highest point. The highest point is 40 meters above the floor, or 131 feet above the floor. That's the highest point.
KAKUM National Park is not only a stunning natural environment, but also a model for sustainable ecotourism and conservation.
After the fun, we are now done with the famous walkway. Over here, it will take us into the tree house and where the big tree is. Once we are in the forest, in the thick forest, we have so many trees around. So whilst on this tree, I'll show you some few trees. Over here, we have the funtum tree, Funtumia elastica, that's the botanical name. This tree is very good for carving purposes. You know, in Ghana, in the southern part of Ghana, our chiefs and queens sit on a stool, and that stool is made from this tree.
The park also offers educational programs for visitors to learn about the importance of rainforest conservation.
Now we are deep in the forest. People only know of the famous canopy walkway, but we also have other side attractions. We have the hiking, where you go through the forest and you learn more about the plant species that we have here. We also have the tree house, an accommodation on top of a tree, like a hotel, a 2-star hotel on top of a tree, where you can spend some good nights to enjoy some serene atmosphere. People want to see animals in their real state in this forest. The only way or the only means you can see that is to book for the tree house, so that in the night you do the night hike. The night hiking offers you a better chance to see more of the wild animals, because our wild animals are mostly active in the night. So in the night you do the night hike like 8 p.m., 10 p.m. After that, you just come and rest in this tree house. So we are coming to the end of the whole tour. This is one of the big trees we have in the forest. One of the big trees. The big tree is on the other side, which is a bako tree. But this is also one of the big trees we have in the forest. This tree is known as onyina. Onyina. Some call it ceiba or ceiba petandra. I learned in the Southern America or the Caribbeans, they worship this tree. In Ghana too, we also make libation on this tree. This tree has spiritual meaning to some of us. This is like over 70 meters tall. 70 meters tall. You can see the beautiful buttresses. Yeah, so when it is raining, I think you can take shelter over here and you are not going to be drenched by the rains.
When you talk of KAKUM National Park and GHTC, it will be very difficult to talk of KAKUM National Park without making reference to GHTC. They has been our partner since 1996. We've worked together for the purpose of promoting and maintaining the facilities that we have within the KAKUM National Park. KAKUM National Park 2023 we came third as one of the most visited sites in Ghana. And then we have a total of 156,000 people visiting the park. We have graduated. Had it not been COVID, I'm sure we would have hit more than, we have hit over 200,000 visitors to this place now. But for now, we are doing 167,000 visitors per annum. I would like to acknowledge Forestry Commission for partnering with GHTC to ensure the longevity of the canopy walkway that we have here. Our second appreciation also goes to GHTC for being there to support conservation activity in KAKUM National Park. Finally, we want to acknowledge our staff of KAKUM National Park for this wonderful work they have been doing, handling these numerous visitors that comes in. We say thank you very much, and we wish that you continue to give out your best to the visitors that come here. And we hope that this year we will be the #1 visitor site by your contribution. Thank you very much.
KAKUM National Park is a treasure trove of biodiversity and a shining example of successful ecotourism and conservation efforts. Visit this beautiful natural wonder and experience the magic of the Ghanaian rainforest for yourself.